Well, it's a new day, and back out here at it again. A little nippy here in Florida. I don't know. It must be in the 60s. It's nippy for Florida. Anyway, as soon as I get working, it's going to feel really good. But anyway, I'm going to flip this around. I went ahead and I cut this out last night. I worked a little later last night. I repositioned this bar. I went ahead and I put the lifts up in the back to go ahead and get the back up. If you notice, the back's up a little bit higher than what the front is. I had to do that to clear the seats of the S10 when I pull it in here. And I took the little lifts out in the front, so hopefully it won't hit anything whenever it's coming down. Plus I was able to bring it forward a little bit, and I spread these arms out. I was thinking I might have spread that one a little further than this one, but no, they're about the same. So yeah, I nipped out, you can see in there, I nipped all that out, and then I gutted this here because this arm right here was going to get in the way. I just know it. I'm planning on, see if it works out for me, thinking to take this arm out, this door out, and making it on the outside. I'll put me maybe a couple screws, or put a hook up here or down here somewhere where I could kind of slide it in and put one screw in it, just one screw to hold it, and that might go straight into my fuse panel. That way I can get to my fuse panel and leave it right where it's at, the fuse panel on the S10. So I didn't realize when I did this back here that one of my booger wells there looks like it already broke loose. Anyway, I didn't realize that I was only going to be able to weld it to the middle. I thought that back was more flat than what it was, so I put these extra straps on here to kind of help hold it in place. So plus I really don't trust that weld job I did. I was having issues with this new welder I got, getting the amperage right and all that. I'm good with stick welding. Stick welding would have been fine. Matter of fact, I could have welded that with a stick welder, believe it or not. But the wire feed welder, I need more experience on it. I can do all right with clean metal, but anyway, I want to pull the S10 in here and see how this fits down on there now, and see if we're going to have, also too distracted here, I took the dash out. I went ahead and cut the dash because I knew it was going to be a problem, and I decided, it's one less time I'm going to have to set it down on here. I think this is going to hit too. This is probably going to hit something. I'm going to have to scarf all that off of there. I don't even know if this thing, haven't even tried it, see if it works, but I'm not going to want to ever use that anyway. So I'm probably just going to have to cut all that off, get all that out of here. Maybe a little too close for you, but anyway, there. But anyway, let's see. Get this thing back on my little overkill stand over here, and we'll go ahead and see if this will work this time, or at least get us closer. I don't know if you could see or not, but the cab needed to come up in the front a little bit. I couldn't really get the S10 in there safely. I don't want to push this cab off of the lift totally. That's why I didn't drive it in myself. That's why I pushed it in. So what I'm trying to do now is put just enough lift on the front end to sneak it underneath. I don't really want to go, I don't want to go too much because I don't want it to come down and hit the firewall again. So this is all trial and error. I don't know if you could tell that on what I did over there or not, but I did something a little sketchy. I put a 2x4 underneath the body, went ahead and let it down, let the pressure off the arm, and I set that little pad back. It's not exactly in the hole. It's not even near being in the hole. Just got kind of setting on the arm, but I was able to lift it up again and set it back down. So it's setting down pretty much on the front, but the back, let me show you. Yeah, the back is okay on this side. That's not okay because it's up higher. It's up higher, but it's up higher because this side over here is kicked up. I reckon for the rumble seat, because there's no door there. So that is going to have to be notched out. Going to have to take that out to go ahead and let it set down flat. And then it'll be pretty cherry. So I'm going to have to cut it. I can go back as far as I want. I'm going to have to cut this whole back of this cab off here, the floor off anyway. And then the whole thing will set down. and then I can see where I'm gonna have to be for my fenders to sit. You see right there, that hinge is on top of that edge of that speaker grill. So I'm gonna have to notch out some dash there, a little bit of firewall to get it down a little bit further, but that's okay. It's okay. It's all part of the deal. It looks to be even. It is lean forward, so I don't. Looks like I could come back a little bit more with the cab, but this thing is tilted really far forward. So once it settles back, shoot, it's got to go down. It's got to go down quite a bit there. Once that comes down, that whole front part of the dash is going to come back, and I think it'll be pretty good. So the next thing to do is I'll leave my sketchy pad over here. I'll lift it up and I'll cut that floor out, and then we'll see where it sets. And hopefully that'll come back. You know what? Maybe it'll come back even far enough, because this dash here is kind of tapered. It goes in. If I'm not mistaken, it goes in. So if it comes back far enough, yeah, can you see in there? The dash gets more narrow the further it comes back. So if this whole unit comes back, I think it'll drop down. It may be just right. So we're going to do that next. I'm not going to be able to all the way down here. I'm not going to be able to show cutting the floor on the video, so I'll just go ahead and cut this part out, and then I'll get back with you. All right, I'll take you around here. I got that all notched out. Run into a little bit of Bondo, but that won't be a problem no more. So I may have to end up taking that whole rocker panel out like that. We'll see. We'll see how this cab's going to fit on there. So next thing is go ahead and set this thing down and see how it's set. Down lower on this side. It's down lower on this side over here because there's less door. On that side, the door is sitting on the sill. So just like I told you that I might have to cut some of that sill out, I may have to go ahead and do that for it to set down far enough. I want this thing setting as low as I can.
这一次我真的睡着了。
over here. Now this door is rusty as all get out, but that's actually over 3 inches to the bottom. Here, let me give you a better perspective. Here's what I already cut. So if I cut this here all the way to the bottom, this is approximately 3 inches. If I cut it down to that body line all the way across, and I go ahead and set the body down, let it rest on this, then I can weld to it later. Weld this all up solid, what I can weld to. May have to, I don't know, this is a rat rod, but I may put new cab corners in that. They're fairly cheap. But if I can cut this sill out, then I go ahead and I can have this to weld to later and give it more structure. But what I might have to do, probably will have to do, is over here. I'll show you. Probably gonna have to cut out all the way across for that fender, to get that fender on up in there. Either that or cut the fender. I really don't want to cut the fender, but I really like it being that low. So you know what, I may cut that cab corner out and just run a bolt, because I'm going to have this part cut out anyway. So I'll be able to get in there. I'll be able to get inside with a nut and bolt that right up to the bottom of that. Just have the top open. And I'll notch out the cab where it needs to be to set on down in there. Yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do, because I really like it being low to the ground like that. That really has a cool effect. And it's out too far. It's got to go in, but that wheel well looks good too. I really like the way that looks. Really like the way this looks here. Not sure if I'm going to have to take out that radiator support or not. But if I have to take out that radiator support, I think what I'm going to do, I definitely want to use my old bracket for the hood that goes across there. And I'll show you what I mean. Got it out here in my scrap pile right now. This right here. Like that. Yeah. So I'll put this on wide view here. I do want to use that. So I don't know if that's going to mean I have to take out my old radiator support or not. But if this here, let's say that's the middle, which it is, that's how far that fender is going to have to come in. So the bumper's in the way. I got to take the bumper off. I already knew that. If I take the bumper and take that headlight out, I think that'll scooch on in far enough. That would mean that whole conglomeration right here for the brakes is going to be inside underneath the fender. I'll have to build me some kind of bracket to go ahead and bolt that thing up so it is not flopping around there. But yeah, I think that'll work. And then the hood comes up, and I'll have to make sure that I got my clearance right for the hood and the fender. That's the other thing I gotta look at. So I guess the next thing to do is notch out for the hinges. We'll notch out that dash. Hope we don't run into any wires or anything. And the sills, notch out the sills. Get them all prepped where the cab can sit down further. And then I'll try another fitting. Well, I thought the camera was running, or the phone or whatever, but it wasn't. So I missed a lot of content for you, but I'm gonna take you around here and show you what I've done so far. This is the passenger side. I'm showing you the passenger side first. I'll show you the reason later. Okay, here's where I notched out. Now I may have to go, in fact I think I just will. I may have to go a little bit further here, come up to the end of that column, just cut on through that, right up near the end of that speaker, and then on down and over. But that that grinder there, I got a battery charge now. It went through batteries, and I don't have enough batteries, and them things are so expensive. Anyway, I started cutting this here with the grinder, and I went through 3 wheels, 4 wheels, 4 wheels, and 5 batteries. I actually, I got that adapter on there where I can use the lithium batteries, but that is really an 18 volt. So I took the adapter off and I resorted to the 18 volt batteries. I went through way too many of them. I went through 4 of the lithium, but they weren't fully charged. Anyway, besides all that, I finished cutting it with the plasma down here, as you can see. See, it started off nice and smooth, and then that's kind of jaggedy jiggedy, but that's what I did. And the thing still wasn't charged, so I went ahead, went around to the other side, and I went ahead and did what I could over here with the plasma. And you're gonna see, yeah, that's me balancing on one leg and on one knee and trying to cut, making all the excuses I can. It's not a pretty cut. Not proud of it, but it's a cut, and it's as far as I could go right here. The leads wouldn't reach any further. I'm gonna have to get a longer cord or something for that thing so I can go further. But I still need to go like up to right there, I think, before the cab will clear. But I'm thinking this here is going to line up pretty good with where that's cut out anyway, so it's not going to matter right now. And now that I have the grinder all charged up again, I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna cut this out right in here. I think this was giving me a problem. I'm just gonna notch that out. It's just plastic. We'll try to not to hit that wire, and that way I don't have anything obstructing me. And I think I think both sides will be good, and then I'm gonna test fit it again. I'm gonna go ahead and wait for this right here to take the bumper off and all that. I'm wait till I get the cab setting on there where I'm a little bit happy with it. You know, not bolted down or nothing, not welded in, but just where I get it setting on there. And then I'm going to lift the whole truck up to where I can get underneath there easier. If you see down here, see the fender is setting up there real nicely. I had to go ahead and take that metal off all the way to the back. But look how nice it's setting in there. So we'll see the way everything lines up. This part here, this old rusty hunk of junk right here, that should go right in there. And that's my, in theory anyway. I might have to notch it out just a little bit more, but if I do, I can just get the grinder in there real quick and do it. So let me get to cutting on this here. I'll notch this out, just this plastic piece, and do the other side, and then I'll be back with you.
这一次我真的睡着了。
All right, here's what I'm talking about. I believe if I take off them inside rockers, the original rockers, off both sides, I think if I trim that back, I think it'll give me enough room to go ahead and scooch past that lip I have. I'm hoping. I left them on there for the integrity of the cab because there's nothing holding it, so I'm probably going to have to weld another piece of metal in there just to keep that from wanting to separate from the door. That's why I left the doors on there too, to give it more integrity. But cutting them off right now, I can't really scooch the S10 out from underneath it because I've got it down too low. That's as high as it'll go right now. The seat's not going to clear. Plus, if I go to back it up, there's a lot that's going to hit right there. So the only thing to do would be to pull that forward a little bit because I don't want to be cutting with all the sparks flying down on that carpet. Well, I actually don't want it falling down on the gas tank either. So I'm going to have to make a decision there. But I think that'll give me enough room. I'm going to try dropping it down another time, give it another look, and see what I got going on.
这一次我真的睡着了。
Well, I come to the conclusion that I was going to have to go ahead and cut out that sill anyway. I looked inside the cab from the back, and it needed at least a foot, maybe a little over a foot. And even if I cut out the sills for the original 52, it still wasn't going to be enough. So I cut it on the S10. I may have to cut it on the 52 also. Here's what I got here. And yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. It's only sheet metal anyway, and I can weld another support in there. The floor is still good and solid. But I can always weld another brace in there from underneath. Ain't no biggie. It's only sheet metal. It's probably still gonna rub on them originals, and I may have to cut them too, like I said. But it's gonna be really close. I may be able to force it past. And if you look, yeah, maybe it doesn't. I was going to say it gets a little bit wider at the top, which it does, the door does, but not the sill. The sill's pretty much dead on the money. Yeah. So anyway, we'll see. See what happens. I'm going to lower it back down.
这一次我真的睡着了。
Both sills are holding me up just a smidgen. Just a smidgen. You know, fellas, I'm thinking just to cut out a little bit more, and I could drop down on past it.
这一次我真的睡着了。
fits now.
这一次我真的睡着了。
Well, fellas, we got it within inches here of fitting down on the S10. I'm gonna have to end up removing my bar up here and cutting out more of the firewall so it can set down a little bit further. I think it's 2 or 3 inches I need to go. Don't remember what it is, but I'm going to cut out a little bit more so this thing can set down, because the fender is jacked up all the way. I mean, it's 7 inches off the ground. That's right where I want to be. I don't want to have this thing jacked up that high. So I'm bringing that cab down. Looks like it's going to wind up pretty good up here. I might have to lose the radiator support, or at least cut it down a little bit, because the bumper is stopping me right now from bringing the fender in. When I bring the fender in, of course, it's gonna bring it back some. So when I do that, I'm gonna have to cut this little ridge off. I know that for sure. And this here gets higher. You look at it, it's elevated a little bit, and I don't want the fender getting any higher, because I think that's about perfect right now. So I'm not sure if these fenders were level or if they went up a little bit, because this one looks like it's going up a little bit. So if that's the case, if they were level, then I'm gonna have to bring this down. So let me show you what the inside of the cab looks like. I'm not really stoked about that gap on the dash there, but of course if I come down 3 more inches, I measured that's about 6 inches. So if I come down 3, then I'm only going to have 3 inches. Maybe I can live with that and put something in there to make me happy, or I can just cut the top of this dash off here, just rip it right across here, and just put the top part on there, if that's enough to fill it in. Just not sure about the glove box, because that's a kind of a goofy glove box there, but I can worry about that later. It's a rat rod. It's gonna be unusual, but it's looking good. The wheel looks like it's right in the wheel well. Of course, it's out way too far, but that fender's got to go in. Yeah, that fender's going out. It needs to go in quite a bit. Well, I know that from right here, but anyway, it's where I'm gonna stop this video for today, and almost cut my doggone finger off, my thumb, and I'm gonna let it rest and try to heal where I can maneuver it. And I just want it where the wound don't open back up. And I don't know what I'm going to do with the back here. Well, I'm just going to have to chop that body off. Of course, I don't really have to. I could mount this frame, mount the truck bed, and nobody'd ever see it, I don't think. But I'm not leaving it there. I want to be able to weld all that and seal it up. So anyway, let's see the other side. Here, look on the back from the inside. This is what the inside looks like. Like I said, I don't know about that gap over the dash. Of course, that's coming down 3 inches. Maybe I might even come down further. Maybe I'll come down 4, and we'll see. We might even get it down lower. It would even look better if I did that. But this is what it looks like right now. Until next time, this is Double Trouble Garage. Y'all take care of yourself. Have fun. Be safe. And God bless y'all. Till next time. Oh, please like and subscribe and all that stuff. Leave me some comments. Tell me, whatever. You think I'm doing something wrong, or you think I'm an idiot, or who knows? Who knows what kind of comments I could get. But encouragement would be nice. Hey, man, I like the truck. I like the build, or whatever. And subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate that. Help me grow my channel a little bit. So, until next time, this is Double Trouble Garage. See ya.